Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're going to continue creating a final project using the basically card bases that we did yesterday. And we're going to start by trimming these down. I made them initially 4.5 by 4.25. And that allows so that if you have like an edge that you just don't like, it's looking a little tattered, you can trim it down to fit a card base to have a border going around all four edges, and that just neatens up the work that you did on the backgrounds. So we're just trimming it down. So instead of it being 4.25, it's going to be 4 inches, and instead of 5.5, it's going to be 5.25. And you could take it even further if you wanted to put a mat in between. You can do that as well. If you mat on the outside, I always suggest that you mat your inside as well, so that way it's a nice even weight of a card. It's nothing worse than to have the top feel nice and heavy and the bottom feel flimsy. Now these are all blessed that I've already die cut out. So we're going to go ahead and get these layered onto our card bases. And at first I was going to do horizontal and some vertical cards, but I decided to make them all horizontal. I think it's going to wind up working better. And it gives us space to be able to use the word blessing, whereas if I made it vertical, blessing would be too big for the card. So going sideways was really the best way. All right. And I always, in case this is your first time finding me, I always use wet glue and tape. I like the combo of it, and it allows me just a few seconds to be able to lift it back up if I put it down crooked, which, sometimes is inevitable. It happens. But if I use the wet glue with my ATG gun, then I'm able to pull it back up pretty quickly and get it more accurate. All right, and then the last one, we'll go ahead and put this on. And remember, we did with this the rolls of score tape. I still have them over to the left. And then we used the foil, the deco foil, to get the shine, the mirrored silver at the bottom. And I just felt like this would be so perfect for Christmas cards. So we're just going to get everything glued down. I'm going to use my block to kind of hold down Blessed until it dries. And I just put the wet glue on really most of the wider images, and then wherever, like for the, excuse me, the L and the D at the end, I did put a little bit of glue on the outside of those because the really thin lines, it kept popping up. So I wanted to make sure it lays nice and flat and stays where it's supposed to. And I'm so sorry. Lately, every time I start doing my voiceovers, I get into a yawning fit. It is so crazy, y'all. I'm like, I don't know what that's about, but I hope it stops soon. Okay, so now this last one that I'm attaching, this one was interesting because I didn't have enough of the glitter paper to do another blessed. So I stamped in VersaFine Black Onyx. I used my black glitter embossing powder, and then I used the die that comes with this set to cut out the word blessed. And somehow the way I did it, it gave me like this interesting like white shadow. So it was like I had it on the right spot, but I was just slightly off. I don't know. It's hard to explain. So I went through on the red, I put Merry Christmas. For the green one, I put Winter Wishes, so blessed with Winter Wishes. And then on the last two, I wanted to use from the sort of like the whites, it's black and white, the lettering. So I have Merry Christmas on both of these. And one of the dies, I think, yeah, this one right here, there was a little bit of opening where I missed on the die cut machine, so it didn't cut out fully. So I just put the Merry Christmas right in between, so it looks like I did it on purpose, and it's a win-win. And there you go. So really, these cards could be done just right here, but you know, I always feel like it just needs a little bit of splatters. It does, it does. So for the red, I'm going to use my spritz in the lumberjack plaid. And then I'm going to also use the picket fence. So we got red and white. And then we'll set that to the side for it to dry. For the green, I'm actually going to grab Rustic Wilderness, the Distress Oxide ink pad. I'm just going to smush right on my glass mat and use my spray bottle. And then I'm going to grab a brush to kind of move the ink around, and then just try and get it to tap on to the card front, which it does work. It doesn't have the shimmer, but I still like that it ties the color in. And then once we do with the green, we're going to clean that up, but then we're going to hit it with some more of the whites. And I find like using another tool to kind of tap, it does help. Sometimes I can do it with just my finger, but you got to do what works best for you. All right, so now I'm thinking, okay, do I use this blue on the white one? Which one, you know, what colors do I use? I could have used white and black and have it be done, but I was thinking I wanted a little bit of a color, you know, a little bit of something, especially a little bit of maybe like a shimmer, you know. So what I did was I have the picket fence, I think it's picket fence, yeah, picket fence paper splatter watercolor, and this one was in liquid silver locket, excuse me. And so I just dip my brush, you'll see I'm gonna dip my brush straight in, and then I'm gonna grab my same tool. I'm just tapping, but I'm covering both at the same time. And the amazing thing is it really does have a great shimmer. I'm looking at the card up close and I like how it turns out. And then we're going to hit it with the white. And I really like how these come out. I just think there's something about doing a card like this where it's simple, but it's very impactful as far as like using the score tape to create that foiled effect. And then with this huge sentiment, and then a little secondary one, I think they really work out or really work well together. They would make even a great set to give to somebody for Christmas, you know what I mean? But I think these for me this year I'm going to be handing out, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So maybe we can play with this a little bit more, maybe make some fall cards, and see what kind of fun we can have with that. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope this gives you ideas for your score tape, maybe some of that foil that you have in your drawer. Pull it out, let's use it and have some fun, you know. As they say, 'tis the season, and what a great way to end Christmas in July than by sharing these great Christmas cards with you all. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys with our next video.